What's up, dude?
Well, congratulations, because
Thank you.
in the span of less than 24 hours, Los Mets have beat, as you pointed out, the world champ Washington Nationals twice. So congrats.
Well, look, we'll take whatever we can, and the squirrel ran into the wall and didn't break his leg.
Wait, excuse me, what was that? Is that like Urban Dictionary? What does that mean? Is
there's
that
a lot
something
of
I
code
should
in
know?
There's actually not any Urban Dictionary. There's not a lot of code in there. One of our best players ran into the outfield wall. He is called the squirrel. But that's so today I took my little guy surfing, and he's 6, about to be 7. In fact, tomorrow's his birthday. And so first of all, he got out on the board, and I mean, I wouldn't say he was in the green room, but no, he was up and he was riding. And meanwhile, I lived in Hawaii for 9 months, and I didn't really try very hard, frankly. But what I did like to do, and there was a time in my life where I tried to act like I was kind of like a surfer dude. I mean, it just seemed to be a kind of a cool way of life. So I wouldn't tell people I was a great surfer, but I had the gear, I had the attitude, maybe some of the vernacular.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Were you one of those people? I mean, did you do this stuff or call people like bra, like Keanu Reeves did?
I never brought
Point Break.
People. I never. Great movie, by the way, Bodhi.
Great movie.
I mean, great movie, and Keanu even actually gained some stature with me, and that was difficult for him to do going into that. No, I never broad people, dude. But there's definitely a lot of dude and a lot of bro and whatever. I think it's more of it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking about the world. So anyway, but making fun of myself here, I was definitely portraying something that was not me. And I think today's a great day to bring us into a segment that we like to do. And as far as I'm concerned, when I hear about the news with Apple banning Fortnite and Epic Games from their app store, and I think about some of the other things that Apple has at least been in the center of, especially around antitrust, I think the question we pose today, and I pose to you, Guy Adami, Apple, friend or foe? What are
they? Where I come down on this. I am like Facebook. I'm no fan of Apple. I have the products, but they portray themselves to be this, magnanimous, great, the commercials they play and everything's beautiful and humanitarian efforts. I think they're anything but. They're probably more predatory than anything else. So I would say they're a foe. They're probably a friend to the countless millions of people that go to the application store and have their phones and their computers.
Hold on,
and
did you
their
just
watches.
Did you just call it the application store? What is that? Were you applying for a job?
Store.
What are you doing?
Isn't that what it's short? The app store? Is that short for the application
store? App store. You can say it. There you go. Keep
going. So I've been on the application store as well, and I've purchased a few things, believe it or not. Like I have my clock app and my calculator app when I have to add and subtract things. But with that said, to your point, I think faux, as Moses Malone said, faux.
Well, Moses Malone, by the way, was he the first guy to come straight out of high school into the NBA? Certainly.
It's interesting. I don't think he was. No, Chocolate Thunder came after, but there was somebody that played before him, and I want to say his name was like Abernathy. That's wrong. I will look it up post show and I'll tweet it out. But Mo was one of the first, not the first.
Mo played forever, and he was excellent. He played some good Rockets teams with Rudy Tomjanovich, Calvin Murphy, John Lucas.
Calvin Murphy from Yonkers, New York, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
By the way, when we make those references, people who are nowhere from the tri-state area care anything about this. But
your point is what? Am I supposed to be?
My point is the local references for a lot of people mean nothing.
So that's unfortunate. They can
they're
Google
kind of smiling and nodding and saying, "Okay,
go to your Google machine, look it up."
All right. So Apple, friend or foe? I'm going to say friend. I'm going to say friend. And I think much has been made about their app store, call it almost the mercenary or the loan sharking or the 30% fees that they're taking from, I think, now 2 million apps on the App Store. But when you think about the dominance that Apple has in society, that you have to be some concerned. I wouldn't call it antitrust. But there's no question that operating system is what most people prefer. Thank goodness I'm still a PC person when it comes to my computer. right now we're still using
I don't know what I'm
Etch-a-Sketch.
using.
An
No, but
Etch-a-Sketch.
you know what? And I love the Etch-a-Sketch #1. With the dials, and then you want to go one way,
it looked
the
like
other,
it
you
actually
screw
looked
it up
like a laptop back in the
But
day.
you know, okay, your friend, that's fine. I mean, it's all good to be. What you're talking about in gambling parlance and bookie parlance, I mean, it's vigorous and it's a usurious vigorous that they're charging people. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. And so now people are calling them on it, and Apple's to say, you know what? See you later, alligator. There are other places for these folks to go, but it is somewhat symbiotic because the Apple will say, listen, you've been able to use our user base, had countless millions of people for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been good for you. I mean, that's a legit argument.
Well, Apple and Steve Jobs certainly portrayed this, and Tim Cook portrays this. There's a level of social responsibility and culture that seems to kind of permeate out of the Apple core. Whether that's right or wrong, they've got us believing it and feeling it. And I do think that on some level, there's substance there and there's reality there. I think this is a fight that they're going to win. But I think you have to be careful where you pick your fights. And indirectly, they've also picked a fight with Tencent, which to me might be the closest thing to Apple's foe or certainly of stature within China. And I'm talking about in possibly more important, more powerful online and again services, things that Apple wants. But Tencent is the largest online app in China, which probably makes them the largest online app in the world. But between social and WeChat, but their gaming presence, and they own 40% and change of Fortnite and Epic Games, which owns Fortnite. So they're part of this battle at the same time when China is essentially getting beat on over what's going on with TikTok. WeChat is also under the is basically under ban focus by Congress. So Tencent and the Chinese have to be paying attention to this. And I think while I'm combining a couple issues, I think you do, because I think at some point the importance, and you've said this more than I have, the importance of China for Apple is something that I think you have to be very careful of in terms of retaliation. And here we are talking about TikTok again.
Before we get out of here, you started this segment talking about surfing. So in the movies, there have been some great surfers. I mean, Bruce Wayne or Batman surfed, if you recall.
No, he
one
didn't.
Of the Batman.
No, he didn't. No,
yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I will text it to you later. Jeff Spicoli, Sean Penn, and Keanu Reeves. Who is your favorite movie surfer and why? I know who mine is.
Movie surfer. I'm probably missing a Beach Boys movie or something, but it's Spicoli. It's Spicoli, but it's not Sean Penn. All right, let's just be really clear.
So Spicoli is your friend, Sean Penn, the real person, is your foe. Here's one for you. I'm gonna go a little old school. We talked about Point Break. Lori Petty is my favorite surfer. I had a lot of time for Lori Petty. Dude. Point Break.
Did she shred? Did she shred?
In the movie she did. That's all that I know. So I'm just putting it out there.
Nice
so and by the way, she is a huge fan of the show, as you know. So
Lori, come on to commercial break. We'd love to talk surfing with you, Guy. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you later.